Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abel and welcome back to Local to Global on FM22. We're going to be leaving Ferencváros in today's video and starting the hunt for job number 5 of the save. Before we do leave though, we're going to have a bit of a look at the season that we've just had and have a look at some of our top performers, recap the season, and then after that we will be starting a hunt for our new job, and hopefully it will be a really good job. We're looking at, the top 5 leagues, like a really established side with, lots of reputation. Hopefully we can get the job that we want, and a good one. We will wait and see later on. But we're going to have a bit of a look back at Ferencváros first of all. If you're enjoying the series, as always, drop a like, leave comments, subscribe if you haven't, or if you're new, and turn notifications on. And let's jump into the 4th job hunt of the save for club number 5. So of course things did end a little bit anticlimactically as we lost in the cup semi-final on penalties to MTK. Just not really a great performance. It took a while to get into the game. We did go 1-0 up, but were pegged back not long after. It was 1-1. And then the penalty shootout, Johnny Clayton's penalty was saved and we lost 5-4 in the shootout. So MTK went through to the cup final and we went out. And they did go on to win the cup as they beat Puskas in the final. We did play our final 4 league games of the season just to wrap things up though, the first of which was at home against Debrecen, and we were 1-0 up inside 7 minutes, Djordjevic scoring to give us the lead. But the away side did equalise in the 15th minute. Georgiev's cross finding Juric, who got away from the defence, equalised for the away side. We retook the lead in the 36th minute from a set piece, Stefan Lonchar winning the header from the Boros corner. And then we made it 3-1 in the 89th minute. Djordjevic with the ball to Vanksa for him to score, and we won 3-1. Then we were away against ZTE and also won this one. Boros made it 1-0 in the 14th minute with this goal. And we wrapped it up in the second half, 74 minutes gone. We made it 2-0. Roman with the ball over the top, and Bradley Fink finished it off to score the second goal, and we won 2-0. And then we were away against Győr, and this was a good victory in this one. It was 1-0 after about 8 minutes. Roman with the assist. Boros well controlled here and a good goal. 1-0 with 8 and a bit minutes gone. Győr did equalise from a set piece though. 30th minute, Petrov at the far post. Easy header for him really. Defending wasn't great from the set piece there from us. But we retook the lead in the 24th minute. Andrade with this cross for Boros, and he scored a second to make it 2-1. And it was 3-1 not long after, 27.5 minutes gone. Ball over the top. Bradley Fink controls it, beats the goalkeeper to make it 3-1. We made it 4 in the 37th minute. Andrade with the ball in here. It fell to Fink. The cross was kind of blocked. Boros gets a first half hat-trick, 4-1. And before half-time, we'd scored a 5th as well. 5-1 came after 41 minutes. Bradley Fink to Roman. Roman beats the keeper to it, and it's 5-1 before half-time. Second half was a lot quieter, but we did manage to score a 6th, 58th minute of the game. Roman to Fink, Fink to goal. That was number 6, 6-1. But the visitors did get a goal in the 93rd minute to make it 6-2 as Gejcevic got away from the defender and scored to get a goal back for them. It was a 6-2 final score. And our final league game was at home against Vasas, who were promoted and I believe stayed up, I'm not quite sure. But we were 1-0 up after 7 minutes. Martin Boros with the ball here. Cross was good. Fink with a header, 1-0. And we doubled our lead after 37 minutes from this set piece. Fink with a far post header to make it 2-0. Second half, the first half ended with Vasas going out of 10 men, with Zombel Boros getting sent off. And then we won a penalty for this push. Djordjevic took the penalty in stoppage time in the first half and scored it to make it 3-0. 4 minutes into the second half, great cross by Giannoulis finds Djordjevic, and it's a 4th with 4 minutes gone in the second half. And in the 78th minute, we wrapped it up with a 5-0 win, and it was Djordjevic this time with the assist. The cross fell to Clayton, Mogherusi gets it, and it's a 5-0 win in our final game of the season. So what that did mean is that our league run stayed intact, and we won the league very comfortably. We only dropped 5 points in the whole season. We drew 1 game, we lost 1 game, we won all of the others. 31 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat, 105 goals scored, only 20 conceded, 94 out of a possible 99 points. Fantastic season, but our last season. We could re-sign a new contract, we could go again, and win the league again, get another trophy, but I don't think it will be particularly fun. Champions League, we did well to get through to the groups. I think we had quite an easy draw for that. We could have had a much harder draw. But yeah, I think it's a good time for us to leave and get like a really, really good job. We had a pretty easy run to get to the groups this season, beating Sheriff and then Olympia. It was a pretty comfortable run. We could have had a much, much harder draw. So, we might not get through to the Champions League groups again. And I don't think it's going to be particularly fun playing league football for the rest of the season, for another season. If we just win the league every year. Well, it'll be another trophy, but it'll be too easy. I want a bit more of a challenge for our next club. So let's look at the end of season review then. It has been a really, really good season from us, as we've seen. We've scored plenty of goals. Bradley Fink's been phenomenal. 31 goals in all competitions, 27 starts, 8 from the bench. He's been great. Felix Correa cost a lot of money. It was a pretty hefty contract. 17 goals, 18 assists from him. Riccardi's been brilliant as well. Our signings this year have just been amazing. Just been really, really, really solid. I've been really impressed with how everyone's done. Muguruza was really good again this year, 8 goals and 10 assists. Martin Boros, 16 goals and 16 assists. He's been absolutely phenomenal on that left wing. It's just been really, really solid. I've been really pleased with how we've done. We won Manager of the Year, Fink won Player of the Season and the Golden Boot. Have a look at this. 3 of our players were the top 3 young players of the year. Boros won, Kingses was second, and Muguruza was third. That's pretty impressive. But it is now time for us to leave. Let's have a look at our profile first of all. Our reputation is at 70%. I don't think that's gone up much this season. So hopefully we can see that go up a bit more. But it's a good opportunity for us to get like a really, really good job, I think. But before we do that, let's have a look at what's happened to our other clubs that we've managed on this adventure. So starting off with Tonbridge Angels. How did they finish in the National League South? They finished 16th place, 13 wins, 16 draws, 17 defeats, a negative goal difference. But, they seem to be doing well and staying in the division, so that's good. They did get relegated one season, but then came straight back up. And, they've improved on last year, so they're doing quite well. Michael Ngu still in charge, the former Liverpool youth player. So it looks like they're going to stay in the National League South for a bit longer. Hopefully they'll start rising up maybe into the top half soon. As for Europa FC, it looks like they did win the league this time round. They have done. They beat Lincoln Red Imps by a point. So that's well done to Europa. Of course, we won the league with them, but then after that, they didn't quite manage to do so. Second and then second, but this year they did manage to win the league, so congratulations to them. And let's see how KV Mechelen did this year in the Jupiler Pro League. They finished in 11th place, 40 points, quite a way behind Ghent, a couple ahead of Cercle Bruges, so they seem to be sort of stuck in the middle of the league around there. I don't know where they were last year, I can't remember. They were 12th last year, so they've gone up by 1. I think we've left them in a really good place as well. Like, money-wise, they're really good because we've got all the money from the Champions League this season. So, money-wise, they're good. They've got like 11 million to spend in a transfer window. They've got a ton of wage budget compared to like their current squad. But I think we've left them in a really good place. Hopefully, they can continue to win the league. They were doing it before we joined as well. And we'll see how they do. We'll catch up with them at the end of next season. But for now, it's time to resign. And we will look for our brand new club, or start looking for our new club at the very least. There's going to be a lot of jobs coming. It's still the middle of May. So, yeah, there's going to be, a few jobs now, but a lot of jobs are going to be showing up over the next little while. So let's have a look at the jobs that are currently here then. Of course, we're not going to be looking at leagues like Bulgaria and Finland. I've actually removed those leagues, so they will be phasing out over the next month or so. I've only got very few leagues left open now, so like Bulgaria is going to be going, Finland's going to be going. Some of them I'm going to keep just in case like one of these next jobs doesn't go well. Thankfully, that hasn't really happened yet. That we haven't had a job that's really not gone well. It's just been a really progressive move up. So some of the countries we have now deleted, but we're leaving a few behind. So what jobs could we be looking at for our next one then? I'm not seeing anything so far. Like Wolfsburg, I think I mentioned last video, that would be quite a good side to manage. They're in 8th place in the Bundesliga. So we'll apply for that. And let's see what else we have as well. We've got some Italian sides, but none in Serie A. We've got a Norwegian. I think La Liga Smart Bank's the second tier, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not really interested in the second tier in La Liga. Yeah, I think that's the only job at the moment that's really of interest to us. We could sort the jobs here by So the Genk job is available, but I'm not interested in going back to Belgium. There's a Ferencváros job that's, of course, become available. Well, Wolfsburg's finances, they're rich finances, so that might be a decent club to go for. But these are the jobs that are available. We've got some very insecure jobs. We've got Cagliari in Italy. They're in the relegation zone in Serie A. Norwich in the Premier League in the relegation zone. Huesca, bottom of La Liga. Empoli, mid-table in Italy. Even like 3 stars. Like maybe we can do better than that. Sturm Graz might be a good job, but I don't think the Austrian League is going to be much better than the Hungarian League. Maybe a bit more competitive because you've got sides like Red Bull Salzburg in there. But yeah, really the only job at the moment that's even like appealing to me is Wolfsburg. But there's still plenty of time. We're only in the middle of May. So what I think we'll do is we'll jump ahead and we'll see what happens with that and see what other jobs come up. I think we might even holiday a little bit. But yeah, we'll come back in a bit and we'll see what other jobs come up. I mean, here's one that's just come up. Leeds United have sacked Brendan Rodgers and they're in the Premier League and they're in 16th place. Reputation-wise, they're at 4 stars. Finances are okay, so I'm not sure how much we'll have in terms of money there, but we can look at the advert. They want entertaining and attacking football, which we've been doing at Ferencváros, developing youth players, signing young players for the first team and making the most of set pieces. Wage below £2.1 million, really good training facilities, but maybe not as much money as we've been having at Ferencváros, but we'll apply for the job, and in the interview they'll tell us what sort of money we have to spend. So 2 jobs applied so far, Wolfsburg and Leeds. We'll come back in a little bit and we'll see if we get anything from those 2 and we'll see what other jobs come up as well. Okay, it is now the 16th of June, so we are about a month down the line and we've been offered our first job interviews. We have 3 of them, Leeds, Wolfsburg and PAOK in Greece. We did also apply for the Chelsea job. They won the league by 9 points and then Ruud Gullit retired. So Chelsea champions of England, and without a manager, we applied for the job. We were unsuccessful, so that's probably a bit of a step too far for us. The current favourite to take over at Chelsea is Jurgen Klopp, so there's that. I mean, he left Liverpool and hasn't had a new job yet, so he may well become Chelsea manager. I guess we're just a little bit far away from jobs like that still, but I don't think we really want jobs like that. I think for the end game of this series, I'd like to try and win a Champions League, with a side that's maybe never won it before or hasn't won it in a long time. I think Chelsea, we might find it a bit too easy. So I think that last club, we do want a bit of a challenge, but that's probably still a bit of a way away. I think we've got 1 club before we get to that final end game of the Journeyman. And that may well be one of these 3 clubs. So Leeds, Wolfsburg and PAOK have offered us interviews. Leeds finished in 16th in the Premier League and their last manager was Brendan Rodgers. He was there for almost 7 years after Bielsa was sacked. No Jesse Marsh in this. So he has been sacked after Leeds finished outside the relegation zone. But let's go through these interviews one by one and let's see what sort of stuff they're offering us and see if it's for us. So Leeds want entertaining and attacking football while still probably trying to stay in the league. They want a mid-table finish. So that might be a bit difficult, but we'll see what we can do. So they want mid-table and then they want to kind of move into the top half. So that might be a bit tough. That one we might struggle to do, but hopefully we can keep the system we're playing. We're going to have to agree to that. Transfer budget of £42 million. I mean, that sounds very nice. And the wage budget, £2.2 million. So really healthy budgets for Leicester. 42 million. It's a good chunk of money. And for the Premier League as well, that's pretty respectable, I think. They've got excellent training facilities, superb youth facilities, good academy coaching, good youth recruitment, really good. So Leeds could be a good one to go for. We can try and get a mid-table. I'm not really too bothered about not having European football with this next club. Because I think with these top 5 leagues, I think we wouldn't be too disappointed with like a mid-table side in these top leagues. If we can get a side in Europe, then I think that's a bonus. But not overly disappointed if we don't get a club in Europe this time round. We've kind of been alternating between European clubs and non-European clubs. Of course, Europa FC and Gibraltar, we were in Europe but in the very early stages. Mechlin, we didn't quite make it. But then, of course, with Ferencváros, we were, the best side in the country and were qualifying for Europa League group stages and the Champions League group stages. So, this time round, if we're not in Europe, it's not a big deal. And I'd be happy to, have a really competitive league. I think Europe's good when you haven't really got to worry about the league form so much. With Ferencváros, we were essentially walking the league. So having those European games were a nice little addition. With a side like Leeds, I think the Premier League will be much more difficult and much more competitive. So I think those games will be a bit more interesting for me. On to Wolfsburg, and they are 8th place in the Bundesliga, former Europa Conference League winners, as we saw. And they just missed out on Europe by 7 points. Werder Bremen getting that 7th place spot. So Wolfsburg just missing out on Europe. And their last manager was Guardiola. Imagine replacing Pep Guardiola. He was there for not quite a year and he left. Has he moved on to another job? He's the Everton manager now. Guardiola's in charge of Everton. There you go. So Wolfsburg have rich finances, so that's good. You know, we're going to be in a really good place financially. They've got superb training and youth facilities, excellent coaching, excellent youth recruitment. So that's going to be a good one as well, when there's plenty of money in the Bundesliga in terms of prize money. So this would be a good job to go for as well. Let's look at their club vision and high reputation players and no real restrictions on the style of play. So we can pretty much do the same thing we've been doing. They do want to qualify for the Europa Conference League. So that's going to be a top 7 finish, which they just missed out on this past season. After that, they want to work towards qualifying for the Europa League and then the Champions League. And yeah, that's essentially what we want to do. So this upcoming season, get top 7 and then try and work from there. I think that's something we can do. £78 million transfer budget. That's nice and healthy. That's really good. And a wage budget, £1.7 million. Not as much as Leeds, but still a pretty chunky wage budget. And hopefully they're not using too much of that. So Wolfsburg and Leeds do look like pretty good options. PAOK is one that I'm not entirely sure about. Reputation-wise, 3.5 stars. And in the Greek Super League, they finished in 3rd place behind AEK Athens, who won the league, and Olympiacos, who just missed out on the league. Olympiacos lost out on the league by head-to-head. Level on points with AEK, better goal difference, more games won, but head-to-head means that AEK win the league. That's a real stinker for Olympiacos. That's really got to be heartbreaking for them. But PAOK will at least be in Europe. They'll be in the Europa Conference League. And this past season they were there as well. Got to the quarterfinals and went out to Valencia. Not quite sure where they enter the Conference League. Let's just have a look at the coefficients and see where Greece are. Greece are actually between Czech Republic and Hungary, so it wouldn't be that much of a step up really. But we'll see what they're going to offer us. They want possession football that's entertaining. They want us to win the league next season. So there you go. And there's some competition there with AEK and Olympiacos. It's more competitive than the Hungarian league, that's for sure. And then we'll have facilities done by then. Work towards becoming the most reputable team in Greece. Develop the best youth system in the country. And just grow the club's reputation from there. And just continue to win the league. So that's what they want from us there. Good training, great youth facilities, good coaching, exceptional youth recruitment, which is good. But I don't really think PAOK are going to be that much of a step up. So we'll wait and see what happens. But probably not one that I'm really looking at taking. We'll wait and see though. We applied for the Basel job in Switzerland. Patrick Vieira is favourite to take over there. So Basel in the Swiss Super League finished in 4th place. Only the Europa Conference League behind Young Boys, St. Gallen and Lugano. So pretty underwhelming finish for Basel there. And we also applied for the Sparta Prague job in Czechia. And they missed out on the league by 3 points. Slavia Prague won the league and their city rivals in 2nd place. And again, they will be in the Europa Conference League. So you have the added bonus of being in Europe with the Czech side and with the Greek side. Although Wolfsburg and Leeds, there's going to be probably more money to spend. No European football, but at least we can, really make a go of the league with those clubs. So there's pros and cons to both and to all of these. But yeah, it's just a case of seeing what comes up first and trying to make those decisions. Okay, we have our first job offer. Wolfsburg have offered us the job. £18,250 per week. Transfer budget £78 million. Wage budget £1.8 million. They want us to get back into Europe and then just work our way up the table, getting into the Conference League and then the Champions League. Sounds like a good job to take. It's definitely appealing. I mean, facilities-wise, they look really, really good. Plenty of money to spend. All right, I'm going to delay it and see what else comes up. But I would not be opposed to joining Wolfsburg. I know, it's going to be the first offer we get. But looks like an interesting club. We can get them back into Europe. I think there's a good project there for probably more than a couple of seasons, I think. We haven't really been at a club more than like we were at Mechelen. I think we were at Mechelen for 2.5 seasons. So, Wolfsburg would be somewhere we can really build like a really good project and try and maybe get them into the Champions League. over the course of maybe 2 or 3 seasons and maybe spend a bit longer there. Okay, we've been offered an interview for Basel, so they were 4th place in Switzerland in the Europa Conference League. Let's see what they're going to offer us then. So they want attacking, entertaining, high tempo pressing football, a little bit much, best youth system in the country, qualify for the Europa League, and then work towards challenging for the title like every season. So hopefully that's something we can do. £11 million transfer budget. It's not very much. Wage budget £490,000 as well. I don't know how much of a step up Basel would be. You know, we'd still be in Europe. And we can try and work them towards that title once again. Because it does seem like they kind of underachieved this past season. So I don't think Basel's going to be the one. But we'll wait and see what else comes up in the next week. Sparta Prague have now offered us an interview. So let's see what they're going to offer us. They have Thomas Rosicky as a director of football, so that's always something. Well, he was a very underrated player when he was at Arsenal. I thought he was really good, even though he couldn't really stay injury-free. So Sparta Prague want attacking football, best youth system in the country, spend the money, so that's good. Hopefully they'll give us a lot. Finish in the top 2, so I think that will be the 2 Prague sides challenging for the title every year, Slavia and Sparta Prague. They want us to win a cup next season and work towards winning the league, and essentially try and best our city rivals to win the league every season. So top 3 finish, they're saying. Again, £12 million transfer budget isn't a great deal. I'd like a bit more ideally. 325k wage budget. So not awful, but again, we've got a lot more to spend at some other clubs. But Ferencváros, we only have like 11 million in the budget. We just need to be a bit sensible about how we spend it. Wolfsburg had an enormous sale, so that's why they have so much money to spend. Okay, Basel have offered us the job. Not as much wage either. 5,750 a week. 11 million transfer budget. 500,000 wage budget. Lots of like requirements in the club culture. We're going to delay it, but I don't think the Basel job's going to be for me. We'll wait and see if Leeds come in though. Like Leeds is going to be an interesting one. It'll be Premier League. I think we'll struggle to get mid-table. I think it'll be probably our toughest challenge so far in the Journeyman, but I think it would be a fun one nonetheless. And there's just not a great deal of top jobs coming through. Like the Chelsea job is still available, but we've been turned down by that like straight away. So they've got no interest in us there. So Wolfsburg are back for a second time. We do have a chance to delay it for another week, which we will do. But if we don't get any like big job offers before that third approach, I think we're going to take the Wolfsburg job. Because there's just not a lot of jobs going. It seems like a lot of managers are staying where they are. There's just not a great deal of vacancies. Sparta Prague have offered us the job. 13 million transfer budget, 325k per week, 7,750 per week wage. Again, I think that would be a fun one, you know, trying to go sort of neck and neck with Slavia Prague for the title. And there are some good sides outside of those top 2 as well. Slovan Liberec, Victoria and Jablonec, all, you know, just outside as well. And there's other sides as well, Sigma Olomouc as well, Mlada Boleslav I'm familiar with as well. I just don't think Czechia is that much of a step up from Hungary. I think we look coefficient-wise, they were just ahead of Hungary. So we'll delay the Sparta Prague job, and I think, you know, we're probably going to take the Wolfsburg job. Unless we get like a big job offer or maybe an interview offer in the next week, then I think it'll be the Wolfsburg job. The Leeds job is still available, but Slaviša Jukanovic is the current favourite there, who's actually the England manager. So there's that. Well, Chelsea have appointed Jurgen Klopp as their new manager, so he had a bit of a break after Liverpool and is now managing the Blues, so they have their man. Thing is, we're now on the 30th of June, so a lot of contracts have just expired. So there might have been a ton of new jobs that have just come in if the managers leave at the end of their contracts. We'll have to wait and see what jobs come up now. If there's something really good, then we've got a decision to make, because the next time Wolfsburg come to us, we either take it or leave it. We cannot delay it again. Alright, let's see. Any other jobs? Groningen in Netherlands, possibility. They finished 3rd? That's a good finish. They finished ahead of PSV and AZ Alkmaar. That's a pretty darn good finish for Groningen. They're in the Champions League. That's a pretty darn good finish for them. I mean, Basel have now offered us the job. I think this is the second time they've come to us. I don't think Basel's really for us. I'm going to delay it again though, just to see what happens with Wolfsburg. But I think the closer we get to it, I think the more the chances we're going to be taking this Wolfsburg job and managing in Germany for Club 5. Okay, here it is, 4th of July 2029. For the third time, Wolfsburg have offered us the job. £18,250 per week, £78 million transfer budget, £1.8 million wage budget. Going to try and get them back into Europe after an 8th place finish last season. We're going to start negotiations because I haven't seen a job anywhere near as good as this come up. Leeds offered us an interview but have yet to actually offer us the job. So I think we're going to take the Wolfsburg job. And you know what? I'm happy with the contract they're offering me. 2-year deal. I'm not going to change the wage budget at all. Let's finalise the deal and let's get it done. And let's go to Wolfsburg. And there we are, VfL Wolfsburg hire Brown. Wolfsburg have today confirmed the appointment of Andy Brown as the club's new manager. And that is where we're going to leave it for today. Next episode, we're going to have a real look around the club and have a look at our players in a bit more detail and see what we can do with all this money that we have to spend. £78 million in the transfer window. That is going to be a really interesting few weeks for that transfer window, and I can't wait. But we're going to leave it there for today. Next episode, we'll have a real look at this club and its personnel, its squad. But that is going to do it for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave comments, and subscribe if you haven't, or if you're new, turn notifications on. And yes, next episode, we start our adventure with Club 5 of the Journeyman, and that's the first job hunt video so far this series where we've actually gotten a job by the end of the video. So that's good going. We just haven't seen a great deal of high profile jobs come up, and Wolfsburg, apart from maybe Leeds, was the best one to come up. So it was a pretty easy decision for me, but we're off to Germany. And we'll find out more about the club next time. For now, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.